My family demanded I give my house to my sister when she can afford one.
I think she deserves it.
I figured I'd share some of this BS here. Maybe on the off chance there are other people with really crappy parents who can commiserate. At this point, I honestly just need to know I'm not alone. This whole situation has made me feel like I'm losing my mind. By the way, this comes from Hey Panda. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And I'm Vincent.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, so my husband, 35 male, and I, 32 female, really lucked out during the vid and bought a fixer-upper in New York with a 3% mortgage rate. My mom almost torpedoed the deal by calling the seller's agent and yelling at him not to sell us the house, saying he was ruining our lives.
Huh?
That's crazy. This was bat crap crazy because we were buying it with our own money. Why my mom thought she could go behind our backs and try to stop the sale is beyond me. But this is basically how she is. She works every holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthdays, everything. Because of her schedule, we can't even celebrate holidays or special occasions together, or it's always a massive pain in the butt to organize. She doesn't even get holiday pay or need the money. Then she gets bitter and says if we don't bend over backwards to work around her schedule. She's always been awful, immature, and impossible. More like a child than my mom since I was about 10. Anyway, we lucked out with this New York house, and it was our dream home. But we had to leave this year for another country. My little sister, 25 female, had been living with my parents and constantly complaining about how bad it was for her mental health. I thought this could be a good opportunity for her to get space by renting our home at a big discount. We only charged her utilities, and we're losing over $1,000 a month subsidizing the difference between her rent and our mortgage.
Dang.
Oh.
What a good sibling.
Yeah.
What?
You were losing over $1,000. Wow. If we officially rented the house on the market, we'd actually make over $1,000 a month. We're not rich enough to subsidize this long term, so we told her that if she couldn't afford the full mortgage, she'd need to move out. She said we'd be making her homeless, even though she could move back in with my parents and can absolutely afford the full cost. Somehow this turned into us being the bad guy. She basically moved into a very nice life where we left off. She was driving our brand new electric SUV, which we sold to her at a deep discount. And we have solar panels, so utilities aren't even an issue. We renovated everything, so it's practically new. With a beautiful kitchen, my brand new TV, expensive surround sound, a PS5, and an electric leather recliner setup. That's pretty nice. Then my mom told me my sister thought it was unfair that she was paying our mortgage and getting nothing in return. She's getting to live there?
Were we also doing this for the benefit of her?
Yeah.
Because she was going insane living with you, Mom?
Yeah. She gets to live there? That's the benefit. That's kind of how all landlords work. My mom asked me to sell my sister our New York house with its 3% mortgage at a deep discount. This made 0 sense because my sister apparently can't or won't pay it. I guess because we're about to buy property here that comes with 2 homes and a tiny house. My mom thinks I have too many houses and my sister has none, so I need to balance the scales. My friend called me a doormat, saying we were tortured our whole lives to be good Asian daughters. If I were single, maybe I wouldn't mind sharing wealth, and even my husband is supposedly down for family socialism. But the socialism in our family only goes one way. They take from us and give absolutely nothing in return. We also have a son. Focus on your son. Don't worry about your other family members. And we're not that rich, so this New York house is basically his inheritance. My mom wants me to give away my son's inheritance to my sister?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
What?
No.
No, yeah.
And I cannot understand why. My sister isn't even poor. She makes over $100,000 a year, and her future fiance will probably make the same.
Wait.
I'm sorry. She said earlier that you're making her homeless.
Wait. You're also giving her a discount. She makes over $100K a year?
And she said you're going to make her homeless if you don't give her a house for free.
I'm confused. Why was she complaining about staying at home the entire time.
I have a feeling this comes from people who are like, they see themselves as a specific status. Like, you can get by anywhere on $100,000 a year.
Yeah. Anywhere. They'll likely out-earn us in a few years and can easily buy their own house. When I told my sister we couldn't subsidize her rent forever, she told me to get a job instead of raising her rent.
Then I say get out.
And then I'd be like, oh, well, can do the same.
I just say, get out of my house.
When I asked if she could temporarily help house one of my struggling friends, she said she's not a charity. The house has plenty of empty rooms and a finished basement with its own entrance, so she wouldn't even have to see my friend. I'm sorry. Are you telling me that you asked for permission to house your friend in your own house and your sister who does not pay rent or want to pay rent said no?
What do you owe your sister?
What does she have on you? What?
Yeah.
My mom has compared my sister and me our entire lives, asking why she couldn't be more like her, smarter, more successful sister. I'm pretty sure my sister low-key hates me. She hates when I'm nice to her, even though she constantly whines for it because it makes her feel more insecure. The reason she's so obsessed with home ownership is because of my mom. She's 25 and she wants to own a home in New York. I never expected her to go after my house. This feels like a new line crossed, and I'm honestly afraid they're all scheming to take it from me. My parents are talking with my sister's future fiance's parents behind our backs to convince me to sell. When I tried to talk to my sister about it, she said she was too busy studying, then called me later to ask about Cyber Monday shopping. I've been really nice to her, because she literally runs away when I ask basic questions. She had a psychotic breakdown a few years ago and pretended it never happened. Whenever I confront her about anything, she physically runs away. I went to therapy, got better, and became successful despite my family, which seems to drive all of them crazy. So does anyone else have a train wreck of a family like mine? I worry about my parents spending time with my son because they're so toxic. I even bought my parents expensive plane tickets to visit us for Christmas, and now I'm sure they're coming to pressure me about this. There's more to all of this, but this is already long enough. If I need a reality check to be a better mom, I guess I need to hear it. Comment 1 says, yeah, I have some advice. Give her 30 days and punt her out.
Don't even give her the luxury of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably illegal to do that, but
let's speed up the process. Let's get her out of here. She stinks. She's stinking up the property. Hire a property manager and rent the place. Ignore her whining and excuses. Even if she says she's going to start paying, just ignore it and punt her out. Learn Machiavellian methods for dealing with these insufferable relatives. Basically, learn to shut up. Don't explain yourself, just do. In this case, punt her out and rent. Don't explain it to her or your mom, just do it. OP says, thank you. I feel like this would have been a mutually beneficial relationship if they weren't so insane. Like my little sister is complaining about having a fixed below market rent in New York for like 20 plus years and or the rest of her life right now. And I just cannot deal with the emotional BS and fallout of doing this either right now too. Even though our lives have been so peaceful so far away from my family, I'm pretty sure that my family would actually cut me out, and if they did, it would probably be like best for all of us. Also in New York, if they wanted to squat, they really could for over a year, and we'd be royally screwed. But then we'd probably sell the house to someone who'd be willing to deal with them as squatters. But that would be the nuclear option. Comment 2 says, you asked your sister if she could temporarily help house one of your friends in your house? Your sister said friend can go to a homeless shelter? Not her house. She will try to take over. Deed is in your name. Don't add her. Why are you subsidizing her life? You aren't her parent. Let her move back in with your parents and rent out your house. Opie says thank you, and yes, I did. My parents were never there for us because they were always working. So I basically grew up to be like her mom from a very young age. My little sister actually treats me like I'm her mom, incredibly terribly, and she treats my mom like her friend or something. Like, I get all the bad and my mom gets all the good and easy. I also have or had a lot of guilt that I wasn't a better sister to her when I was younger. Might have abandoned her with my insane parents when I left for college. And I had been trying to make up for it until I became an actual mom and got overwhelmed. I honestly do wish everything would work out. I don't mind helping my little sister live a dream fairy tale life in a mutually beneficial relationship as long as she doesn't try to steal from me and my own son. By the way, I hope that you guys engage in a mutually beneficial relationship with us by listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
At this point, even then, you're like, I want to keep a mutual, relationship with her. Why?
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 I don't understand.
What did she do for you other than make everything
Nothing.
worse?
She just sucks.
Don't just say, "Oh, it's family." You can
No.
you can cut off family for being like this.
She sucks.
Yeah.
Comment 3. You babying your sister obviously isn't helping. You know the definition of insanity, right? How many times are you metaphorically willing to put your hand on a red-hot burner before you realize your wish won't come true? I'm seriously asking. Commenters have been making great suggestions, but you keep rebuffing them. Why did you even ask for advice when you're not willing to make any changes? Go to therapy and figure this crap out. You're not ready to ask for advice yet. OP says, thank you. I think my therapist might be part of the problem too. He always is like, you need to help your family. That's just the type of person you are. Yeah, maybe that's not the best therapist.
Yeah. Is that a family therapist?
Yeah, it's like your sister in disguise.
Yeah.
You're always going to help them no matter how much they hurt you or something. Maybe because I haven't cut them out of my life despite all the mistreatment. Maybe I am an exhausting patient or something, or he thinks I'm some Asian family matriarch or something. I probably need a new therapist. I think so.
I think so too.
My brain is like actually messed up. The reason I'm able to maintain these toxic relationships with my family is because I literally always forget the mistreatment every time. Like after a week or two, I'll completely forget any of it ever happened. Blank slate, reset every time. I'm really good at breaking off toxic relationships, just not with my family. My grandparents raised me to always take care of my parents, that it was my responsibility to take care of the family, including my little sister.
Ideal brought upon the rest of your family and your sister?
Yeah, that like expectation was that it doesn't seem like it was put on your sister at all.
Exactly.
But they've never gone potentially after my house before this. This is new. I know it's dumb to be like, we're not this evil. This whole thing might be a huge miscommunication. There's potentially a happy ending here for everyone. Still wishing for that if I talk to my little sister, that this whole thing will end up being some insane misunderstanding, thanks to my crazy parents or something. And that's the end of the story.
Oh, OP.
My family kept making my wife cry, but I don't want to lose them both.
You gotta pick one or the other.
And trigger warning for emotional mistreatment. I'm really lost, and I don't know what to do. I love my wife deeply, but my family, especially my sister, has been creating a huge emotional distance between us. I'm torn between wanting to protect my wife and not wanting to upset the family I grew up in. I feel stuck between loyalty and love, and it feels like no matter what I do, someone gets hurt. By the way, this comes from Muted Reaction 3730, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
Hey, I'm Keon.
And I'm Vincent.
My bad, Vincent.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, for context, I come from a family where we are taught that family comes before everything. You never say no to family. You do whatever it takes to keep peace, and my father was always the authoritarian type who had to be in control. My sister inherited that, and I learned early on to stay quiet to avoid conflict. Keeping the peace mattered more than being right, even when it hurt. My wife, on the other hand, didn't really have a family. Her parents abandoned her when she was a child, and she was raised by her grandparents until her teenage years. Since then, she's been on her own. Her biggest dream was to build her own family, one filled with warmth, love, and belonging. I admire her deeply for the strength she's shown throughout her life. We've been together for 4 years, and she's everything I ever wanted. But from the early days of our relationship, my family has been a constant source of stress. At first, it seemed small, almost harmless, but over time, it became impossible to ignore. My sister tries to control everything: what I do, how I do it, where I go. She always knows better, and my parents always take her side no matter what. My wife says I don't stand up for myself, and by extension, for her. She says I let them control me and that I'm afraid of confrontation. Honestly, she's right. I hate arguing, especially with my sister, because it always turns into shouting, and nothing ever gets resolved. I usually stay quiet and try to calm things down, but my wife sees that as weakness. She worries that if she ever truly needs me to defend her, I won't be able to. The worst part is how my family treats her. They're polite when we visit, but as soon as we leave, it's like she doesn't exist. They call and text only me, never her, and my sister completely ignores her attempts to connect. There was one visit that really broke me. My sister was eating something and asked only me, "Do you want to try this?" She completely ignored my wife sitting right next to me as if she wasn't even there. Why are they so mean? They're so nasty. Just share. My wife smiled politely, but I saw the pain in her eyes. It was such a small moment, but incredibly cruel in what it communicated. Then, this week, my sister texted only me to plan Christmas. Not in the group chat we have, and not even a simple, "What does Carla think?" Just me. As if my wife doesn't exist at all. Every time there is a family event or plan, she's left out. My wife told me it feels like reliving her childhood of being unseen and unwanted. She's right. I've tried talking to my sister, and she said that's just who I am.
If your sister's truly owning up to that, then
Yeah, she just sucks. She's just a bad person. That's who she is.
yeah, why are you not responding with, "All right, if that's who you are,
I
I
can't
don't
be
need that in
friends. I can't be around you.
I don't
if
need
that's
that in
who
my
you
life,"
are.
kind of thing. Yeah.
I've tried talking to my parents, and they said, "Why would you want to change your sister? Do you want fake relationships?" That's so
What is
stupid.
going on?
That's genuinely so stupid. No one listens, and I'm angry, mostly at myself. My silence makes me a part of it. I keep telling myself I'm trying to keep peace, but what peace is there when the person I love most feels invisible in my presence? I feel trapped between fear and guilt. I'm stuck. I want to make my wife happy, but I know my family won't change. I don't want to lose them, but I can't keep letting her feel invisible. I don't know if it's possible to protect my marriage without destroying my relationship with my family. You're not destroying your relationship with your family. Your family is destroying their relationship with you and your wife. Context: I'm 31, my wife is 29, and my sister is 27. And there is an update. A few days ago, I wrote about the ongoing conflict between my wife and my family of origin. The response was much bigger than I expected, and hundreds of people shared their thoughts. It opened my eyes to things I never fully understood about myself or my family. There's one specific event I didn't mention before, and it's something that has stayed with me ever since. About 4 to 5 months ago, my wife and I needed to travel to a city several hours away for a personal matter. That same day, I had lent my car to my dad so he could get to the airport, which left us needing to rely on my sister's car. She agreed to drive us, but her car is a tiny 2-seater with an extremely cramped back space. The entire round trip took about 6 hours. I drove, my sister sat in the front passenger seat to my right, and my wife sat in the tiny back space.
Why would you do that? You knew it was
Literally, no. No. I see my sister going to sit in the front spot. I say, no. my wife's going to sit there.
Where are you, OP?
What's going on?
What's going on in this relationship?
Why are you letting this happen? Stop it. Stop it. When we got home that evening, my wife was in severe back pain. The pain lasted for days. It was clear that the setup had physically hurt her. A week later, we needed to make the same trip again. My wife calmly explained that she couldn't physically handle another 6 hours in the back space. She suggested 2 options. Either I sit in the back for half the trip while my sister drives and then we switch, or we take the train and avoid the car entirely. She never once suggested that my sister sit in the back. Looking back, this was the moment I fully realized how deeply my family's conditioning still controls me. Instead of clearly telling my sister our plan, I stayed silent.
Bro.
You suck.
Ah!
You suck. You're a coward and you suck.
Sorry for yelling, but
You suck.
dude, if I were your wife, I'm leaving you.
I'm leaving. Because you don't respect her. You don't stand up for her. You don't respect yourself. I was afraid of her reaction and too focused on keeping the peace. I kept mentioning my wife's back pain, hoping my sister would offer a solution on her own. When the day came, my sister immediately went to sit in the front passenger seat again, fully expecting the same arrangement. I told her calmly, "No, this time you drive." She exploded instantly, her voice shifting into her usual commanding tone. She said, "No, I'm not driving. I don't care. And if you don't like it, we're not going anywhere." Before I could respond, my wife softly said, "Baby, it's okay. You drive. I'll sit in the back again." If you let this happen, if you let this happen to your wife, oh, why I oughta.
Are you married to your sister or your wife, dude? Like,
She climbed back into that tiny space. It was the most painful car ride of my life.
You let her?
You
You let her?
that happen?
Dude.
You let that happen? I kept looking in the rearview mirror and saw her eyes full of tears. Full of tears. What do you mean they're full of tears? What do you mean? I heard her trying to swallow her sobs so she wouldn't upset me. She didn't complain or accuse me. She didn't say a single word. But I could see her breaking, and I knew I had failed her. That moment caused one of the biggest crises in our marriage. It opened my eyes in a way nothing else ever had. Even now, I can't believe how afraid I was to say, "My wife is in pain and we're doing this differently." What horrifies me most is that my sister never once offered to switch seats, drive, or acknowledge my wife's pain.
Neither did you, really.
Not for a single second did she show any concern. I still don't understand how someone can see another person in pain and feel nothing. I don't understand how you can see your wife in pain and not say anything. I don't know if this is normal behavior for self-absorbed siblings or if I'm missing something obvious. You are definitely missing something obvious. Another thing I want to clarify is why we didn't rent a car or take a train. The truth is, I did think about it. I knew those options were better and would have avoided involving my sister completely. But I didn't choose them because I knew my family would be upset and question why I didn't rely on my sister.
Bro, F you.
F you.
F you.
F you. Oh, your family would be upset that you took a train. I don't care. I don't care. Your wife is upset. Is that worth it? Is that worth it that your wife is crying in the back seat? Update 2. A few days ago, I posted again about the issues between my wife, my family, and especially my sister. Many people shared insights that made me reflect deeply.
We've heard this so many times, but
I reflected deeply and did nothing. In my family, we have a rule for birthdays. We say exactly what we want so no one wastes money. Last Friday, my wife and I had dinner with my family, and they gave me my birthday gifts early. The gift my parents gave me wasn't what I had asked for, and unfortunately, my reaction showed it. I even said, "But this isn't really what I wanted." I know it was rude and unnecessary, and I've accepted that I messed up. I regret reacting that way. On Monday, my parents called me to congratulate me, and during the call, I excitedly told them about the gift my wife gave me. It wasn't big or expensive, but it was perfect and incredibly thoughtful. I was genuinely happy and wanted to share that joy. As soon as my sister heard me mention my wife's gift, she said, "Well, I'm glad at least you got something you actually like." The comment stayed with me. I know it was triggered by my mistake, and I know I gave her ammunition, but it still felt pointed. Yes! Of course it was! She didn't care that my wife might have been next to me and be able to hear it. She didn't care that it could sound dismissive or mocking towards my wife. My parents said nothing negative, only my sister felt the need to comment. It made me question her intent. By the way, I question your guys' intent if you're not listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
don't make her question you.
There's a little
bit left to this story.
Look at her. Yeah, she's
Ah!
questioning too many things right now.
Ah!
I think I've said my piece.
I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah.
I want her to leave you. You
Yeah.
suck.
Yeah, dude, you suck. I'm sorry.
The next morning, after staying overnight at my parents' house, I saw a message in our group chat with me, my sister, and my wife. She tagged only me and wrote, "When you wake up, clean up after yourself because our parents like their mornings in the living room." I had no issue cleaning up, but the context bothered me. If it's something positive like planning events or holidays, she messages only me privately. If it's something corrective or critical, she uses the group chat where my wife can see it. That contrast feels intentional now, like she wanted my wife to feel small or out of place. Now I'm questioning everything. Are you, though? Are
This
you,
entire
though?
thing is
I'm
I've learned
questioning
something
everything.
new, and it's really truly opened my eyes, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna do
Opie's like,
nothing
my
about
eyes
it.
are so open now. I know what to do. I know how to help her.
I'm not gonna do it.
Was this normal frustration because I messed up, or another subtle jab disguised as a comment? Or is this part of a long-standing pattern I've normalized for years? Bingo! You got it. I honestly don't know anymore. I know. It's a pattern you normalized for years, and you're still doing it.
Boy, oh boy,
You suck.
your wife should
should
be your ex-wife now.
Please leave him because OP sucks so bad.
My sister is becoming just like our father, and that's not a good thing.
Is becoming your mother a good thing?
So, a situation I am going through right now has been happening for more than 3, almost 4 years, starting around the tail end of the pandemic in 2023. For context, after I graduated with my bachelor's degree in graphic design, I got a temporary job at Tesco. I'm in the UK. I was working as a personal shopper for just over a year. And by the way, this comes from user Riverloo, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And I'm Vincent.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do down in the comments. And OP says, from the very first day of my employment, my Asian narcissist father constantly pushed me to work elsewhere, telling me to apply for this job and this job and this job and this job. He kept sending different job openings nonstop to the point that I eventually gave up on applying or even interacting with them due to the sheer amount of rejections and scam companies. The issue was that these were basically the jobs he wanted me to do, ones that would benefit him or the family in some way. One of them was even becoming an air hostess. Like, what? Not saying being an air hostess is a bad thing. It was just not for me at all. Anything I wanted to do was immediately shut down, just like how he constantly put me down for literally everything I did, because to him, it was not sustainable for your future. Honestly, I can understand the not sustainable for your future concern to an extent, but it was not the path I wanted to take with my life. It went even further than that. When I turned 20, which was 7 years ago, he had full control over my life. That included deciding which university I went to so I could be closer to home, so we can visit whenever, and choosing where I would intern so that he could visit those places and get free boarding. Most of these internships were meant to be in China or Southeast Asia. Luckily, the pandemic happened, which stopped that, but it also completely messed me over because of restrictions. I was originally planning to intern at a design company in Amsterdam, which never ended up happening. A few months after he passed away on the 19th of October 2024, my sister, who is 29, started taking his place. She did not just repeat the same behaviors my late father had, but essentially molded herself into who she was as a person. She became self-centered, self-inserting, egotistical, narcissistic, and controlling. I am not surprised, considering she is the golden child and the clear favorite of our parents. She is now doing exactly what our late father did for years, trying to control my life and my career, which is pissing me the F off. The funny thing is, I actually have a job. I work in illustration. Sure, it doesn't pay much, but I enjoy what I do and I work at my own pace. She thinks she's helping me, even though I never asked for her help, ever. It honestly feels pathetic. On top of that, I do not ever want to work for someone else and become just another cog in a capitalistic society. And there are some comments, and boy, oh boy, do I have some thoughts.
Yeah, I think, one, when losing someone close to you, a parent, sibling, whomever, friend, sometimes you try to fill that gap, and I think that's what your sister's doing. She's trying to take on that role. I don't think she's willingly doing that, or in a sense, I don't know. I think she's like, I have to be that person now. I have to be dad now. Which, have you had that conversation with your sister? Like, hey, you don't need to do that with me. Like, I love you kind of thing. But you don't have to, helicopter me or do all this. I'm good. That's about it. Hope you're doing well kind of thing. I don't know. What do you
OP,
have to
I'm
say?
calling you out.
Oh.
I'm calling you out, OP, because I see it. You're an artist. Pops didn't think it was going to work out. Nobody thinks it's going to work out. Only person who has to think it's going to work out is you.
I think it's going to work out.
Comment 1. If we don't think critically about ourselves and life in general, we're more likely to repeat the behavior we observed as kids than to break the cycle. OP says 100%. Comment 2 says, you living at home? I would move ASAP if I could. Or learn to stand up for yourself and set in those boundaries, because it's not going to end. You're going to have to learn to find your voice and power. You don't have to be mean, just really firm. If I need help, I'll ask you, but I would appreciate it if you backed the F up. LOL, something like that. Sorry, I hope you find a solution that works for you. Comment 3 says, you're just going to need to place that boundary and tell her to go look in the mirror. There's nothing more dangerous than an adult child being the victim to parents, but they don't know it. Not much you can do about it, and condolences to your father. Comment 4 says, the solution to your problem is simple. Tell your sister to F off. She has no power over you, right? And there is an update.
Yeah. And I'm seeing a lot of, it's like a mix, it seems like 50-50, I'm not going to lie, with chat saying 1 and 2. So, I mean, the best thing, OP, is your family the best. Go about it the way you think you should go about it, but you got to do something.
I have never really posted an update before, so here it is. It's been a year and some change since my father passed away. Throughout 2025, I want to say that nothing good really happened until the middle of November. I kept myself emotionally distant from my golden child older sister and still had not moved out. My mother, who's also went back to Taiwan for 3 months until February of 2026, which meant I could wait it out and focus on work. My plan was to save more money so I could quietly move out without their knowledge. For the first 2 weeks, I genuinely enjoyed being alone at home because no one else was around. My golden child sister was not there either, as she was in Romania for wedding planning and work. During that time, I had to take care of the house entirely on my own. Unfortunately, a lot of things started going wrong all at once. I had to deal with car problems by myself, although the car is fine now and running properly. I also had to fix a leaky tap in the kitchen, and since I could not fix it myself, I called a plumber to replace old rusted parts, which cost me 120 pounds out of my own pocket. My golden child sister did not even offer to help pay, despite earning more than I do. I took care of the house beyond normal daily chores, like laundry, hoovering, mopping floors, dusting, cleaning the kitchen and bathrooms, and buying groceries. Managing the house honestly felt like a job in itself. I cleaned areas with mold and recaulked certain spots in the kitchen and upstairs bathroom. I fixed the garage door, which had been badly damaged at the bottom, by cutting a panel of wood to cover it temporarily because of termites. I also bought new piping and a new shower head to replace old rusted and limescale clogged ones.
It feels like they knew. Like, all right, we'll leave. He has to deal with the house and pay for all of that.
Yeah.
There's way too much to be like, why wasn't this fixed before? Or like maybe a couple of these things not mentioned before.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot. You're like, I'll just do them all now.
Yeah.
All of this happened within about 5 weeks after my mother went back to Taiwan. During this time, I have been doing less paid work than usual, and I was hoping that would change if my golden child sister finally helped around the house. Spoiler alert, she did not. She does not hoover or clean and literally dumped her newly bought clothes on the living room floor when she got back from a friend's wedding in Penang. I had to pick up after her. She does not cook, do laundry, help dry clothes, or even iron her own clothes. She does not mop the floors, which means she probably tracks debris in from outside. She does not buy groceries and does not even wash her own bowls and utensils after using them, especially in the mornings and afternoons. Most of these tasks take only a few minutes, yet she refuses to do them. By the way, I don't think you want to refuse listening to full episodes of stories just like this one on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime. And there's a little bit left to this story time. I don't know what it is.
I think, OP, number one thing you need to do is get out of there. Just move out. That should have been, it seems like that's like the initial problem is you staying in this household with both your mother and your sister. And it's going to be a lot quieter when you move out.
But OP can't. Because OP's not making enough money to move out. Because OP, I think, OP, you need to get a job. You made a comment earlier about how you can't have a boss because you'd be a cog in a machine. Hey, I get it, buddy. But you be a cog with identity. You know, having a job that pays you money is a means to an end. You want to get out of this house. You want to further your career as an artist, as an illustrator. You can do that, but you can't do that if you're living at home with these people. And, you know,
It'll drive you insane living in this household. You think they're going to change? You think their mindsets are going to change?
Yeah. And like speaking as an aspiring artist myself, you got to make it work, you know? You do what you need to do in order to do your art.
when my sister got flowers on her birthday on the 10th of December, guess who she made arrange them nicely in a vase? Me. After that, she took 2 photos and went back upstairs without helping clean up the leaves I had to cut out because they did not fit. At this point, I have basically become her effing housemaid. The thing is, she used to have her own apartment in London, so she knows how to take care of herself and her space. Now she just chooses not to. She uses her job and wedding planning as excuses to avoid basic adult responsibilities. Everyone else also has jobs, and some even have families, yet they still take the time to clean up after themselves and take care of their homes. She is literally becoming our late father. And that is the end of that story. I think the father passing probably has a lot to do with the energy going on there.